What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is gonna be your review of Ti and Tiny Friends and Family Hustle. It's late. I'm here though. So okay, we have this episode Ti's 38th birthday, and he was like, "I know y'all thought I was older than that because I got an old soul and a lot of kids, motherfucker. I swear I would have bet money that Ti was older than some damn 38. 38? Damn. Um, But yeah, so it's his 38th birthday party. He has to go to Vegas. He's got a bunch of stuff he's doing in Vegas, and he's coming back home. And Tiny's planning a party for him, and it's all good. You know, it's cool. We're gonna get to the party. Then we have Monica's telling us about her new project, her Be Human project, which she has a single called coming out called Be Human. And you know, I got that because anything Monica do, I'm on it. So it's got the single Be Human, but she's also connecting it to her Be Human Foundation, which she uses that to raise funds and awareness for different issues such as HIV. The one on this episode that she's highlighting is going to be breast cancer. So we got that going on. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Latoya Luckett's mom getting hooked up. Her husband's trying to hook her up because she hasn't really been dating or anything since Latoya's parents got divorced. Now, mind you, Latoya's parents got divorced when she was 10. Latoya has got to be in her mid-30s or early 30s. I'm not sure. I don't want to make that woman older than she is, but mid-early 30s. Your mama ain't dated in 20 years? That's a lot. So, no, but let me just go on. I'm just going to finish that up real quick. It was a disaster. Tommy done hooked her mama up with some knuckleheads, and they tried to go to dancing and stuff. It was a cute little scene, but it was no way in hell that you ever thought those men were going to date her mama. Okay, like come on. Um, then we see, so those are the different things that's going on. The other thing that's going on is Zanique. Zanique's recovering from her surgery. You know, she couldn't do a lot. She can't be out in the sun. You know, for a while they didn't want her really doing anything to strain herself, so she was sort of on bed rest. But she can get out the bed now. She still can't really go out for extended periods of time. She has to keep her sunglasses on, and so we see where Tiny's taking her out in the little golf cart to drive around the little neighborhood and what have you. It was King's birthday present, but you know King's still on lockdown from last episode. Ti still got. We didn't even see King this episode. The only time we saw King on this episode, because Ti meant that thing, because he said that, he said no filming, none of that. King went on this episode till it was time for Tip's birthday party, and Tiny even said then, she said, you know, King got a reprieve from the punishment just to come to the party. So, I mean, I ain't mad at you, Tip. And a punishment has to hurt. Like, there's no purpose of a punishment if it don't hurt, right? Anyway, so let's go back. So she takes Zanique out. She's got her riding around. She said, you know, now that you're getting better and everything, we're going to get you back in the studio. She said, and I want you to work with Sean Garrett. Now, here's a couple of things about Sean Garrett. First of all, about Sean Garrett is, I know Sean Garrett is a producer that's worked with a lot of people, but I also know Sean Garrett from last season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I was not impressed. I'm just leave it at that. But as a producer, okay. So come to find out, Sean Garrett had worked with the OMG girls back in the day, and he was really hard on Zanique. So Zanique was like, I don't know how this is going to go. And, you know, this is what I love about Tiny. People can say a whole lot of things about Tiny, but one thing about Tiny understands the business. She knows music and she knows the business. And she told Zanique, she said, look, she said, I understand that he was hard on you. She said, but that's what y'all needed. You know, like, she wasn't talking as a mother, because remember, she was their manager. She was talking as the manager to say, look, as a group, y'all needed him to be hard on y'all. And so that's why I never intervened, because he, you know, like, basically he wasn't abusing y'all. He was just hard on y'all. And Zanique she said, and I know you felt like he singled you out. Like, I know you felt singled out. She said, but, you know, at the time, that's just what you guys needed. She said, and I think that enough time has passed. You've matured. You know, you see things a little bit differently. And I think that he can really help you. I really feel like he can get you to that level you're trying to get to. And to Zanique's credit, she was like, okay, I'm open to it. Like, I'm open to figuring this out. So she's going to work with Sean Garrett. So we see her later on in the episode. She goes and she meets with him. And come to find out, what he explained to her was, he said, you know what? He said, I was hard on you because you didn't have any confidence in your own voice. And I needed you to understand that you brought something to the group. Like, you almost, he said, I felt like you almost felt like you didn't deserve to be there. So I was hard on you because I needed you to hear yourself. I needed you to understand that you had talent and you were bringing it to the table. He said, but if you don't have any confidence in you, how can I believe in you? And so she was like, you were right. I mean, everything he said, he was like, you're right. She said, I was in a group and I sort of, hid behind the whole group thing and just blended in. I never tried to stand out. I never tried to sing solos and do anything like that. She was like, you're absolutely correct. Like, I totally just blended into, that. I just folded myself up into that. And so she was like, but she played him some of her new music. But she said, I've been growing and da-da-da-da-da. So she played him some of her new music. And he said, that's great. He said, what you have is great. He said, but I still feel like, I feel like you have more confidence than you had. But I still feel like you're not quite there. You're still not quite like 100% believing in yourself. He said, and I want to work with you. I really want us to get in the studio. I want us to make some new music because I feel like I don't want to take what you've already done and mix it. I want us to work together from scratch, and I think we can really do some great things. He said, but I need you to believe in you as much as I believe in you. I really need you to do that. And so it was a good conversation, and I think it's what Zanique needed. Like, I've heard a couple of Zanique songs. I don't dislike her music. I think it is what it is. It's not, it's that post-teen, because I don't want to say it's bubblegum, because it's not bubblegum, but it's that post-teen. Now the light just literally changed. Like, what the hell just happened to the light? Anyway, but it's that whole post-teen thing, right? 20s, making things work kind of situation. So it was cool. Now, on the other hand, we have another one of Tip's sons, Damani. Damani is in music, and I didn't know Damani had done as much as he's done musically. Damani was nominated for a Tony Award for writing an original score for SpongeBob SquarePants. I did not know that. Like, he's definitely doing some things musically. But what he was saying was that he's switching up his sound. He said, my father being T.I. is definitely, it can get me in the door. Like everybody who says this, it can get you in the door, but it can definitely put a bullseye on your back as well. He said, and I'm not trying to emulate my dad. I'm not trying to make trap music. I have my own style, my own vision, and I just don't know if people are going to accept my music for what it is. Come to find out, he's recording down in his grandmother's basement, which is where Tip used to record back in the day when he was, just starting out or whatever. So the studio was all set up. Grandmama spoiling them, getting pieces delivered and everything, But he said, he's not really sure about putting this music out there because he's not sure how it's going to be received. And his boy tells him, he's like, look, maybe you should have a listening party. He was like, yeah, Pops is out of town this weekend. We can have a little party at the house, have some people over, listen to the music, see how they vibe to it. Cool. Y'all know how that worked out. Like every bad teenage movie from the 80s or probably even beyond, it turned into a big-ass house party. And true to script, what happens? T.I. comes home early, right? Walks in. He said he saw all these cars and was trying to figure out. He said they were outside the gate, though. And he was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. He gets in his house, and they are all in his basement having the time of their damn lives. The look now, we know T.I.'s an actor. But the look on his face, honey. The look on his face. But the good news is, they listened to the music and they really liked what they heard. And he was like, okay, this is giving me confidence that I'm on the right track, that I'm doing the right thing, like I'm in that mode. But on the flip side, T.I. was like, you got about 2 seconds to get all these motherfuckers out of my house. He said, you brought them to my house, my sanctuary. Now, taking the reality out of this, because I don't know how much of this was for the purposes of the show and how much of this he really had a party at his daddy's house. It's bad enough to have a party in your parents' house when you just an average Joe Blow. I did it all the time. I had parties at my parents' house after I wasn't even living in my parents' house no more. If they was going out of town for the weekend, I was living in an apartment. They had a house. party over here. And they traveled in the summer. So we would have a cookout. We had a nice little, we had a back patio, had a grill. We would just go by the store. We buy the cheap meat because we ain't had no money back then. You know, we go to Murray's. If anybody know what Murray's Steakhouse is, drop it in them comments. We go by Murray's, get us them patties, get us some links, get us some bread, honey. Tell everybody BYOB, get a couple of cases of soda from the Shoppers for like 10 cents. Y'all know what Shoppers is, let me know. And we have ourselves a good little time. That's bad enough as I look back on it. But when you are a celebrity, one, you letting people know where T.I. lives. People might think they know where T.I. lives, but now people know where T.I. lives. You're letting people inside of his house where they can see what's there, what's not, where it is, what kind of security he has, where his gold records are hanging up. Like, it's so much stuff that you letting Joe Blow off the street into the house. It's so many different reasons why that's just a bad idea. But adding the reality piece of it, it was just funny. Damani had to kick him out the house. He was real nice about it. You know, basically, he really nicely was like, thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night. That's what I was waiting for him to say. Because he said, thank y'all for coming out. And I was waiting for the God bless you. Good night. That's another 90s reference. And T.I. told him, he was like, don't have these people in my house. He said, what the hell were you thinking? And, you know, Damani was like, I was really worried about my punishment because, you know, my dad can get real, you know, creative with his punishments. You know, he done everything from cut my hair to just whoop my ass. You know, well, he didn't say whoop his ass, but he said he gave him a whooping. He said, but right now he's quiet. And that's when I'm most afraid. And I'm thinking to myself, that's when your ass should be the most afraid. When he quiet, that's when you should be the most afraid. So come to find out, basically what he said was, you know what? I'm just not going to pay for your studio time for a while. And I was getting right by him. He said what he didn't know, he said this in his confessional. What he didn't know was that I was getting ready to, he was getting a new car next week. But he didn't. And he didn't know nothing about it until right now. See, sometimes you ain't even got to do no whole lot of hooting and hollering. You just move in silence. So you lost your studio time and you didn't get a brand new car. Hope the party was worth it. Hope that listening party was worth it, Damani. Probably was. He probably got the car now. Anyway. So Monica's Be Human campaign, we see her talking to Kevin Gates, and she was talking about how she's gotten really close to him and she doesn't like the things he's done, you know, as far as his legal trouble. She said, but family is family and you love family even when they make mistakes, and that's so true. It's true. And she's just basically talking about how right now, you know, she grew up, you know, a PK, and she grew up giving back. Like, that was what was always expected of her, was to give back, and that this is just her way of using her voice to just give back to people. And so, you know, she's just talking about it. And then we see her actually have an event, and again, they all had on pink. It was about breast cancer. And then we find out that Tommy's mom, LaToya Luckett's husband, his mother's actually battling breast cancer. And so you see where stuff hits reality, and it hits home really close, that she's actually dealing with the effects of, you know, what she's, you know, raising money for. And she had a survivor there, and then she presented the survivor with a check. I want to say it was for like $25,000 or something like that. She said, you know, a lot goes on, you know, when you're battling a disease. Even with insurance, there's always expenses. There's always stuff that happens. And again, I'm here to testify. Y'all know my story, or if you looked at my videos, you've known my story. And yes, my insurance took care of probably 95% of my expenses, but I still wasn't working for a while. I still got behind on my bills. Like, my credit rating took a hit. Like, I didn't lose my house, thank God, on my car or anything like that, but I dipped deep into my savings. Like, shit happens, you know. And so, hell, a $25,000 check would have been real nice for me, you know. So anyway, so that's what that was. And it was a nice event. And like she said, she wants to, and she played her new single, which again, I can't wait to download it and get it in. But that's pretty much where that was. The last but not least, I want to make sure I got it all in. But last but not least, we see that they had the party for T.I. It was his birthday party. It looks like they had like a lucky strike or something like that. And it was really nice. You know, at first T.I. was saying he wasn't really excited about the party, but he appreciated that, you know, Tiny would put, he calls her Tamika, he'll never call her Tiny, that she would put so much effort into, you know, doing a party for him and everything. And he said, look, you know, our situation works for us. He said, me and my wife, you know, back on good terms? Yes. He was like, do we sometimes, he said, do we live apart? Yes. He said, but where we are right now, that just works for us. He was like, we're not getting a divorce. We're basically back together, but we're not back under one roof. He said, and just for us right now, it just works. And I'm like, you know what? If you like it, I love it. If that's going to stop you from cheating on that woman, then you do what you do. Y'all make it work. Y'all figure it out. He's got a new movie that he's coming up with that he said he's about to film it in Africa. So he was basically, you see them trying to figure out the co-parenting thing because Tiny about to go on tour. And she was like, well, what we going to do with the kids? Like, the older kids, of course, it's not an issue. But, they got the baby Eris. They got Major. King, he's a freshman in high school. But we see King don't know what the hell to do with free time. And so he was like, well, whoever got the biggest paycheck, let's figure it out. She was like, well, how you know how much I'm making for my tour? He was like, well, how you know how much I'm making for this movie? So he gives her the amount, like he puts it in his phone and shows her the amount. And she was like, but I'm just saying. I'm like, yeah, that let you know right there whose paycheck is bigger. What she making on that tour versus what he getting for that movie. Sound like the movie won. But she's still going to go on tour. Well, remember the tour didn't happen, so it don't matter. That worked out perfectly, right? Right. So that's bad, but it is what it is. So the party was nice. Like I said, everybody came to the party and everything. Only other thing that really went down is that Tiny Head got caught on fire in that party. That thing was so funny. You saw T.I. laughing. I know he didn't want to laugh, but he was laughing. She said, when I said the party was going to be lit, I ain't mean like this. They had candles, and she had her hair down her back, and they went to go take a picture, and the bottom of her head caught that candle, honey, and they had to hurry up and bat that thing out. Honey, I was waiting for her to just take it off. That would have really been funny as hell. If she just took the wig off and just said, fuck it. That would have been hilarious. But anyway, that's what it was. It was this is a feel good show. You ain't gonna get a whole lot of drama and stuff, but it's good to see these people. I love to see people get along. I love to see when black women can get along. It's a great show. It's a feel good show. Y'all let me know what y'all think though. Drop it in the comments, please.